Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Hometowns. It's your girl, Kristen Towns, and today I don't have an update on the home. However, today's topic is a very important element of building your fully custom home. I am going to talk with you about my experience and what I think is the most important thing to do first when you decide to build a fully custom home. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about it. Y'all, I'm going to share with you my experience so that you will know why I think this is the most important thing for you to do when you decide to build a fully custom home. So my husband and I, we decided we wanted to build a custom home. I knew how to read floor plans. I had already done the research. I knew exactly what I wanted. There was this one particular home I came across and I fell in love with it. I kept researching, I kept searching, but I kept coming back to this particular home. I showed it to my husband. He fell in love with this home and we were like, this is the one. Now, the floor plan itself was not what I wanted, but I knew with extensive modifications, this home could work. Once it was time for us to build a home, we contacted a few contractors and everyone kept saying the same thing. I need to see your house plan. Where's your house plan? Please email me your house plan. We quickly learned that we needed to go get our house plan done first and then come back to the table. So we met with a couple of architects and we were able to show them our home elevations, the floor plans, all of the modifications that I wanted to do, what walls I wanted to remove, where I wanted to add rooms and things of that nature. From there, we got an estimate. I think the lowest estimate we received was $12,000 and the most expensive estimate we received was $18,000. So I didn't really want to spend that much money on our house plan simply because we had already decided to build during this pandemic season where all materials were so expensive right now. Lumber was 3 times the cost. OSB was 3 times the cost. Everything was so expensive. And we decided that since we were going ahead with building a home right now, we could save money on other things. And this was one of those things I wanted to save money on. In my mind, it really didn't make sense for us to pour that much money in our house plan when I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew where I wanted everything to go in this house. So I had the idea of contacting the originator of this particular house plan I found online. And we learned that we could purchase this house plan through an online retailer for, I think it was roughly about $2,000. And then we could make modifications from there, which came out to be around $2,300. So in all, we spent right at $4,300 for our house plan. That was a fraction of the cost if we had went through a local architect. With us going through an online retailer for our house plan, you really don't get to meet one-on-one with your architect. They give you 5 modifications back and forth until you derive at your final product. If you want to have more modifications after that 5th time, that 5th email interaction, you can have that, but it's going to be at an additional cost. So we went through the process of us modifying our house plan through the online retailer. We were emailing back and forth. You do not get to talk to your architect one-on-one at all. There is a third-party liaison between you and the architect. In the event that you need to speak to someone, you speak to the third-party person. And from there, they will speak to the architect. And when you do it that way, you really don't get that one-on-one interaction that you need to convey exactly what you're looking for in your home. It was a little frustrating going through the process, trying to explain exactly what I want through email and me drawing on the house plan on my phone and emailing it back and forth until I said, you know what, let's just go with what we have, and then I can tell my contractor exactly what I want. So fast forward, we got our house plan, we poured our concrete slab, and now it's time to get going. One of the things that I added was a half bathroom under my stairs because we didn't really have a guest bathroom that was on the exterior of our hallways. So when you pour concrete, you have to know where your plumbing is going. We had to guess at the half bath because the math wasn't adding up. The walls were not adding up for this half bath. And I remember my contractor asking me, how important is this half bath to you? And I was like, it's very important. I need that bathroom. So we ended up going ahead and guessing at the numbers. And once it was time to get the plumbing done, we had to bust out the concrete to move plumbing. Thankfully, we were very, very close. My contractor did a great job estimating at where this plumbing goes because I think it wasn't even 2 feet of distance that he had to move the plumbing. Okay, boom, that worked out fine. Then we get to electrical. My electrician is wiring, the alarm guys are wiring, the sound guys are wiring. And I walk in one day and I see all these can lights in my ceilings. And I look and I'm like, I said to my contractor, doesn't my can lights need to work with my ceiling designs? And he's scratching his head and my electrician is looking at me like, no one told me about the ceiling designs. And I said, yeah, I want some designs in my ceilings. So to make a long story short, we had to take all the can lights out of the master bedroom, the kitchen, and the great room. And I was not able to get the designs that I initially wanted. I wanted my ceilings to be recessed up in the ceilings, but that would have needed to be done during framing, which I did not know. So I ended up with ceiling designs, except all of my ceilings are designed downwards and not recessed up in the ceiling. So fine. The ceilings are still going to be beautiful. I'm cool with that. Fast forward to now it's time for the electrician to find all of my floor outlets in the great room. I marked on the house plan where I wanted 4 different floor outlets. And 2 of those outlets were in the walking path in the great room. It was in the path to where I wouldn't be able to cover it with a rug. So I ended up having to tell them not to use those floor outlets. We'll just keep 2 of them. So although I needed 4, I only ended up with 2 outlets because it wasn't marked on the house plan. Fast forward to my niches. I walk in the house one day and I said, hey, when do we start framing for my niches? And he looked at me like, what do you mean? And I said to him, well, I want some niches. You know, in my dining room, I wanted this wall of cabinetry with wine coolers fit just right, but recessed in the wall like a niche. Same thing in the hallways. I wanted some niches for our paintings in the hallway. It was too late. If we had framed out the niches in the hallway, we would have had to make our hallway a little more narrow, and I did not want to do that. So I just nixed all of my niches and found other ways to bring character in my home. I've had to adjust and do things differently because it was not pre-planned. So I say all of that to say this. The most important thing you need to do when you decide to build a fully custom home is to get a mastered house plan. And when I say mastered house plan, every design element, I don't care if it's wallpaper or a brick accent wall or your floor outlets, even your wall outlets, your under cabinet lighting, every little thing that you can possibly want in your home, you need to have that done on your house plan. So what does that mean? That means if you are not able to visualize your home during the architectural phase, you really need to get with a designer, because your designer will be able to walk through that home and know the areas that need a little accentuating, accent wall here, or let's do a pop of this here, or let's recess this wall here and do a custom panel here. You're a designer or someone who can visualize the house plan and make it come to life within their minds needs to walk with you along the way while you're planning your house plan, so that by the time you pour your concrete slab or whatever foundation you're going to do, your contractor, the electrician, your sound guy, everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. And that way you can go on, do whatever you're doing, and you don't have to micromanage because you're scared that something may be missed. Every step of the way, you have people asking you, what do we do here? What's going here? What's going here? Right here, we need to know this right now. And if you're not accessible to your phone, if you're not able to respond to your text message immediately, things go to a halt when your house plan is not done. They're sitting waiting on you to give approval or denial of certain decisions that they can't move on until those decisions are made. Whereas if you have a mastered house plan, then things just move on smoothly. If you're not answering your phone, they still know what to do. So my suggestion to anyone who's going to build a fully custom home is to get a mastered house plan first. Spend the money, because in all actuality, I could have just spent the money for my house plan, because when you add the $4,300 we spent on the house plan to the $11,000 that we spent on getting people to redo things, we're spending the money anyway. And sometimes you'll end up spending more money on the back end. We're not even done. And there may be more things that come up that I'm going to have to pay for because it's not on this house plan. And I want to make it very clear, there's nothing wrong with purchasing a house plan online. Nothing wrong with that. However, for a fully custom home where you know what you want, you have in your head exactly how you want your home laid out, I would suggest going with a local architect. You can sit one-on-one with, you can sit and talk with your architect, and you can tell him or her the accents you want in your home, the little niches, the little fine touches. Because for me, I feel like that's what makes a custom home a custom home. And although I was able to add those elements in other ways, it still was a very, very hard lesson to learn along the way. I really hope that my mistakes and the lessons that I've learned will help someone else do a little bit better along their journey. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.